Get the basics right before you start trying to make it all fancy and arty-farty. Hello and welcome to another video, and today the news has come out that the PlayStation 5, well, we know that the PlayStation 5 is coming and it's most likely coming in 2020, but no sort of official confirmation has come of any specs so far. And in an interview between Wired and Sony's Mark Cerny, who was the lead architect on the company's new console, he's put a load of information out there on the interweb. One piece of good news, which is sort of not really surprising to too many people, is the fact that the PlayStation 5 will play PlayStation 4 games. If you remember back in the day, the PlayStation 2 would play PlayStation 1 games. That was fine. No problem with that whatsoever. Then the PS3 came along. Someone had an absolute problem there. The initial PlayStation 3 would play PlayStation 2 games, and then whatever was different about it, I'm not too well up on the technical side of it, it was a bit of a hassle to try and include it, which is why when they made the PlayStation 3 Slim, they just removed it. So the PS3, especially like the one I've got, just cannot play PS2 games whatsoever, which is a right pain in the backside. Similarly, when the PS4 came along, which is based on PC architecture, that won't play PS3 games. I mean, whoever designed the PS3 really needs a cold slap, quite frankly. I mean, ideally what we would need is a PlayStation 5, which is based on PC architecture, so we'll play PlayStation 4 games. What we ideally need is for the PS5 to play games from 1 to 4 as well. I mean, if the Xbox One can play Xbox 360 and Xbox original games, why can't the PlayStation do it for all the other ones? And if the PS4, through their online service, couldn't play PS3 games through however it works, the PlayStation Now, which I tried once, and yeah, why should I have to pay monthly for that anyway? But if they can do it with that, why can't they just do it with the discs as well? Absolutely right. Yeah, you can at least put the disc in. You would recognise the disc, even if it had to download the game from the PlayStation Now server. At least then it would work. I mean, because I've got games from the PlayStation 3 which I can't play on my PS4, and I'm unlikely to unplug the PS4 and plug in the PS3 just to play a game. So the game's just kind of sat there on the shelf, which is really bloody annoying. It's easy to capture gameplay on the PS4 with my Elgato HD 60S capture card, but the PS3 was an absolute with the HDMI thing, and they sort of knackered it so that all that HDCP thing, I think it was, that you just couldn't get around. So I had to use component out to capture it with the card I was using at the time. Absolute dog's what's it of a meal when I just wanted to capture gameplay and had to fanny around with a million component cables when the whole thing should just work through HDMI. It's simple. HDMI works. So someone needs a cold slap for that. So the PS5, some specs have been announced. It will have a disk drive. Work on that Xbox, Microsoft. No one wants a diskless system. Diskless. You know what I'm talking about. The console's been in development for over 4 years, but given how much they want to put into it, you can well imagine. One thing that's not been confirmed as of yet is whether the PSVR next version of that will be included in the box, or included in the console, because that's what they want to do, Sony, apparently, and they want to make it a big thing out of it. I enjoy PSVR games, but I don't have the Move controllers. The only way you can get those is either second-hand if you're lucky, or paying exorbitant prices on eBay or similar things. Why they can't just do official controllers that don't cost the earth, I don't know. And if you use PS3 ones, PS3 or PS4 Move, they both work if you can get hold of them and if you don't get ripped off either. Another thing that's going to be included is a solid state drive. Lots of PCs have one these days. The PS5 will be based on PC architecture like the PS4. And so basically an example of this is that when Sony played Spider-Man, the PlayStation 4 game running on a dev kit for the PS5, developer kit for those not in the know, the open world's loading time dropped from its usual 15 seconds on a PS4 to less than 1. I've not played Spider-Man, it's not my kind of game, but for a lot of games that will make a hell of a difference. Gone will be loading times. I remember the ZX Spectrum, the game Arcadia, which you could load that game in 1 minute 20 seconds, whereas the Commodore 64 could load it in about 18 minutes. Meanwhile, You think things would get faster over time, but no, you put a game in, put a disc in, it suddenly wants a 50 gigabyte patch or an upload just so you can play the damn game. So you think things will get better, and no, they just got even worse. The PlayStation 5 will also support 8K resolution. If you've got an 8K TV, I've not even got a 4K TV, I've got a 4K monitor. I want to buy a 3D 4K TV. Can I buy one? No. No one makes a 3D TV in 2019. The last 3D TVs that were made in the UK were ones by Panasonic. There's a TX65 EX750B for Bravo, which I've been trying to get hold of because it was the last 3D TV to be made. Can't get one for love nor money. Well, you can get one for love nor money. I've seen at least one site trying to still sell them. It's a 2-year-old TV, trying to still sell them for like $2,500. I've tried emailing them saying, be realistic, mate. They've not even bothered getting back to me. PlayStation 5 will also include 3D audio. Apparently, in the PS3, 4 and previous consoles, guns haven't sounded like guns. News to me. Things sounded fine. I mean, I use a PC for a lot of gaming as well, but when I play on the PlayStation or the Xbox One, I never think that doesn't sound like what it's meant to. Maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe my hearing's going. Mark Cerny has also hinted at the PlayStation 4 games like Death Stranding will be multi-platform titles coming out on PS4 first and then the PS5, just so they can sell you the same thing twice. It's like buying an album on LP and then buying it on CD later on, and maybe tape and DAT and DCC and all the others. Nothing new in that. And then you have a special edition version, no doubt. There's no price given on it yet. It's been kind of rumoured, that's a rumour, that it's going to be about $500. So that'll end up being about 450 quid in the UK. I can understand why, perhaps. I mean, the PlayStation 3 was $600 when it launched. But people are not going to pay $600 for a machine. Obviously, they will pay $500 or 450 quid for a machine because they did so with the Xbox One X. There's only so much people will pay. Personally, I will wait till the PlayStation 5 drops in price. I'm not paying full whack on day one. I'll wait till it drops. Wait for all the bugs to be ironed out first, because it's bound to have bugs and overheat and all the rest of it. They all bloody do. There's also going to be some ray tracing graphics in this as well. So yeah, it's going to do 8K graphics, as I've said, but it's also going to do ray tracing graphics, which is what the NVIDIA RTX graphics cards do. But when I've seen demos of that with the RTX effect on, it's been fine up until the point where they've done it as a demo and it looks fine, but then when you actually put it into practice with the game, it's sort of it's just the whole thing just completely grinds to a crawl. So ray tracing one day will look alright, but you're going to have an awful lot of horsepower behind it to make it actually work. So, you know, get the basics right before you start trying to make it all fancy and arty-farty. Just a couple of extra specs just to wet your tongue. CPU will be 8-core AMD Ryzen based on 7nm Zen 2. Yeah, I'm sure you know more about that than me. GPU will be Radeon Navi based. Yeah, okay. As long as it does the job, that's fine by me. So, are you going to buy one of these? Are you going to buy it on day one? Or are you going to wait and see what all the problems are until it crashes and then overheats, and then you just may as well wait for the refresh a little bit later on once they've sorted out all the problems? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below on the video. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video, put a hashtag in the comments below on YouTube of hashtag garlic bread, because I've just made some garlic bread, and you can probably hear the microwave oven, it's kind of an oven, going along in the background. It's making a bit of a racket. Anyway, there we go. Okay, please like this video and share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already, and cue Genesis.